He's the slick talking, jive walking, banana eating, your favorite morning host. It's the one and only Adam Josh.
Hello, everyone. Hello, good morning. Good morning. My name is Adam Josh. That is what my mama named me. Here we are in the hillside of the Algarve. It is February the 12th, 2025. And I'm here at Love Farmstay. This is one of the first bananas that we ever planted. Here's another one. This one's a banana bill. We got little Kim underneath, Bruce there, Devani, and Dahlia, and then a whole bunch of bananas all around us in a circle. We're in the banana circle. I got my coffee creamer that I frosted up in my new little tool, the dispenser tool. And I thought I would show you guys how easy it is to plant papaya today. I love papaya. They grow locally. I also have some papaya on our farm. The largest one I have is behind the camera. It's about maybe 5 feet tall. And I expect fruit from it maybe this year, maybe next year. And but I'm going to show you guys how easy it is to plant papaya, so that you can do it as well. I have a banana from Madeira here, an orange from our friend's farm up the road, local papaya, and yeah, we'll just get into it. How have you been? It's February 14th. You know, I was looking at when did the first morning banana show ever happen? So the first morning banana show, I think originally the plan was to do it live. And then what I wound up doing was I would have a live stream camera and a recorded camera. And if you've been on YouTube or on the internet long enough, you'll know why. It's that just like one thing is not enough. What winds up happening is the platforms at some point monetize and get you by the balls, and then you're like, oh man, how did I not see this coming? You get that done to you enough, and then all of a sudden you realize you should be saving it on multiple platforms or saving your work on your own hard drive. So needless to say, originally I think it was supposed to be, the idea was that I would do it live, and I think separately I recorded it, but I think at some point I might have had the idea just to do the morning banana show live. So the first live show on this channel, if you go to the live section, was February the 14th, Valentine's Day, 2019. 2019, 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So here we are, 6 years later, Morning Banana Show number 207. Obviously, there's 365 days in a year. So I have not been consistently doing a Morning Banana Show every day in the last 6 years. Pretty obvious about that. I'm not even committing to once a week. I have some canela in this froth milk. Lots going on in the world. Yesterday I noticed that Elno went to the White House and did a press conference in the White House while Trump sat idly by with his little son, little X. Mostly about common sense budget cuts. Or like a common sense free-for-all DOGE expenditures. DOGE cuts, rather. I'll be okay. I put lime with the papaya. You got to add the lime in the papaya. Lime juice. So you get a lemon or lime juicer and just dump it in there. Local apple. We have one apple growing. Thanos is his name. Tyler named him. He's behind me somewhere. Can you see him on the ground? That pot in the front. That's him. The big one. I guess one fun thing we can chat about on the farm, and nothing related to politics, is most people don't know how bananas grow. I have the show, the Morning Banana Show, since 2019. And who knew back in 2019 that it would turn out that I would be sitting in a banana circle in Portugal, growing bananas and propagating them. So I didn't know how bananas grow. I think, like a lot of people, you think that at some point, maybe there's a seed in here, and you put the banana in the ground and it grows. Well, it's complicated. It's not that easy. This is the Musa variety banana. M-U-S-A. A common variety of banana. And basically they are classified as herbs. So each one that's growing around me is basically like an infinite loop. And they have a herb, like the root ball is like usually about that big on something like this, and it has little shoots sticking off of it. But Bruce here, that sprung up from Banana Bill, it came similar to this when I purchased him. So you see one main trunk and then one shooting off, and these are attached near the root ball or near the root. Those two themselves were actually, you call them pups, suckers, or sucklings, or offshoots of these guys. They were actually, I have like 14 in a row. I have the 7 dwarves, these two, and then Fox and Sophia. There's a lot of banana palms in this circle, and we intend, basically where the camera is set up right now, we intend to have this whole thing like a shaded area of tropical fruit. That's the idea. Starting with bananas and papaya. So I have a lot of these, and so what I started doing was, with the guidance of our friend Miguel, he said, no, you're going to want to trim them and get rid of those suckers. So, get a sharp spade. The ones that have pointy, long leaves are good to keep, and the ones that have fat, thicker leaves, you want to chop them off because they start drawing the energy from the plant, the main plant. And if you're trying to produce bananas and not just, have a nice garden, you're going to want to chop them off. So I basically got a sharp spade and put it down beside the larger herb, the larger banana palm, and chopped it all the way down under the ground, under the soil, and then picked it up gently and repotted it here. And it doesn't look anything like I would imagine a banana palm looks like. So this is not a full circle moment in a few different ways. One is that we're, 6 years later after starting the Morning Banana Show in Niagara, almost to the day. And now, instead of buying banana palms, dwarf banana palms of the Musa variety, now I'm potting them, and I've actually given one away to our friend's farm on the west coast of Portugal in the hills. That's a whole separate video, a whole separate subject. I could talk about that guy's off-grid farm for ages. I bought a book from his wife while we were there. But they have the you think what we're doing is cool. They have the most top-tier off-grid estate that I have seen in my life. To the point that they're able to rent out part of their estate to people who live there off the grid, but to the renters, I don't even think they know that they're off the grid. That's how off the grid and how top tier it is. Like, if you're so off-grid and so independent, then you can have people live with you, and they have electricity, flowing water, toilets, and they don't even think, are they off-grid? You're pretty off-grid. You're top tier because you obviously have figured out sustainability, sourcing electricity and water and sewage all by yourself. In the middle of nowhere. They're not connected to the grid. So separately, I gave one of these to him. I have that one that I just showed you and maybe 3 or 4 more banana pups that I took from, obviously, like 14 in a row. I got so many around here, 14 bananas. So these will continue to grow and propagate. And basically, they'll continue to produce leaves like this. The leaves come right out of the center. And then around the 30th leaf, if you're counting leaves, which I am not, but sometimes you can count the stems. I'm expecting this year that this banana bill or Devani will fruit, because we've been counting leaves and we lost count at 20 something. But around the 30th big palm leaf that shoots out, the male flower comes out. And the male flower is called the banana flower. Very unmistakably purple, phallus looking thing. And you can eat that, but we don't chop it off at that point. Following the male banana flower will be the traditional bushel of tiny bananas, and they'll look like this, like a traditional bushel of bananas looks like this, but they'll be tiny. So basically, you're supposed to allow the tiny green bananas to get bigger and bigger to the point where they're fully formed. At that point, you chop the male member off, again, to redirect the energy flow then into the bananas, and they're on this like long stem, basically, that comes out of the middle. And when the bananas look like roughly about that size, like edible size, then you chop the whole thing off and you can hang it up somewhere inverted and allow it to go from green into the point where it starts yellowing. Grocery stores commonly will hang these up in large numbers and then spray them with some type of shellfish based spray, which preserves them longer. Obviously, they want longer shelf life. But it makes the bananas not vegan, obviously. So if you're concerned about eating shellfish, you'd want to not buy those major brand name bananas and go more for like organic and local. These bananas from Madeira, I picked them up at Aldi or Lidl, but like they're going rotten as soon as they arrive. So it's like first come, first serve, where the other ones, the major brand name ones, will stay yellow indefinitely almost. It's like 2 weeks later and they still look perfect. Now you know why. I've seen this stuff in person at Loblaws in Calgary, and I'm not going to say any more about that because I don't want to get anybody in trouble, but I know what I'm talking about. These are pesticide free. Obviously, my bananas are pesticide free and whatnot, and so it's really exciting for me to have this full circle moment the other day on the weekend of giving a banana pup to somebody that is living off grid here in Portugal. So saying all that, I bought my banana pups for like €5 from Aldi, a couple of them. And then these ones I picked up from a local botanist, like a high-end store. And I should say after the life cycle there, it's not over with the banana. After you actually harvest the bananas from it, that's the end of that particular shoot, which you're asking, hey Adam, why does it indefinitely, fractally produce leaves like that? This is why, is because after it produces the bananas that you eat, you're supposed to get a machete and chop it down to about hip height, or chop the whole branch down. And then that, again, redirects the energy to the next of kin, or the banana suckers or the banana palms, which is why, like, ideally, this one would produce the banana first, and then you would chop it down to about hip height, and then this is going to be the child, or the next of kin. And that's how it goes indefinitely. And as far as the Musa variety goes, that's how it's been going. So there are no like banana seeds that I've been spreading. It's all buying the herb and propagating it indefinitely, which is wild. Did you know that? I did not know that. Shifting gears into papaya real quick. This is just that fizzy vitamin C drops that I got. I'm adding it with water, making sure we're getting all our vitamins. So papaya, like I'm eating right now, I learned about papaya and propagating papaya in Portugal while I was here. So I'm giving you guys some added value for these videos if you care about this type of thing. Information that I had to learn in like 2 years, I'm condensing down into a YouTube video on the Morning Banana Show. Excuse me while I enjoy this delicious papaya. I didn't know that papayas would grow so easily. I never considered that I would be a papaya farmer. But then we came to Portugal. So this is a papaya seedling that I propagated or germinated from seed. So we put them in the pots in the Disco Light nursery behind me and then let them grow. Now, I have been growing these in pots, and at some point I put them in the soil here in the banana circle, hoping that they would grow to be as big as my 4-foot one called Nelia. Now I'm going to show you guys what happens when we're not using pesticides. We're not using any pesticides or chemicals, and so this is something that I have to deal with. You see the critters here. We have slugs, we have birds, as you can hear, roaming wild dogs that come into the property and go through our compost and whatnot. And so it's sad I spent all this time to propagate a papaya, and then some critter like a rat, a rodent. I haven't seen many rats here, but apparently there are a couple rats, wild rats. So somebody came along and bit the top off. A lot of times it's a grasshopper or like a locust. So what do? We're looking up natural ways to prevent bugs from eating our stuff, like cinnamon. But I'm going to show you guys while you're here right now how easy it is. So we know that this soil that's in here is good to germinate papaya, because it was clearly growing in there up until like 2 days ago, yesterday. I just noticed this the other day. You know, when you chop up papaya in half, you get all these seeds, right? I'm gonna eat this orange. This is one of my neighbor's oranges. Best orange you'll ever have. If you guys want to come and hang out, there's basically year round there's oranges here in different varieties. That one is literally from an abandoned farm up the road. Lots of abandoned farms in Portugal. Side issue. Okay. I just was eating that to make my way to show you the plate. When you chop one of these in half, it's full of these seeds. There's different opinions on when to plant it. By the way, you can eat these in small amounts. It tastes like pepper. Don't need a lot of it, upset your stomach. You'll see different things about how to germinate, but basically, each one of these little papaya seeds will grow a tree like this. Or I wouldn't call that a tree necessarily, but I think I ate one of Desiree's hairs. Each one of those little seeds has the potential to turn into something like that. When they start propagating or growing, germinating through the soil, they come like a herb, like it's a lot. And all of them come up at the same time. And this is a really sad thing, that the reason I separate these into pots is because, again, with this whole energy sharing thing, they wind up competing. And then what winds up happening is, instead of being beautiful and green, they start getting yellow. So that's the root of it. So it was healthy, but you know, you can use this, basically to feed it again. Overall, it was healthy, but it got eaten. It was so tasty, the bugs couldn't resist, or the whatever it was. So I'm just gonna put some indents here, going down maybe 1.5 inches or 2. This one needs a bit more soil, so we'll cover that. And now I'm taking the My hands are all covered now. Huh. Luckily, I got soapy water around here. You can just take a teaspoon. Look at that. Teaspoon of papaya seeds, and I'm going to put it right in the hole. Other one, teaspoon of papaya seeds. And basically, the sooner the better. If you're actually trying to germinate and propagate these into like actual things that grow and produce fruit, the sooner the better. So get the seeds out of the thing, out of the fruit, and then just like that, they look like caviar. Cover it. Like I said, this one needs a bit more soil, but cover it. If you have just a little bit of rainwater, cover it with a little bit of rainwater, not to soak it, but just a little bit. And then basically every day, put a finger in there and see if the soil is moist. Keep the soil moist, or a little bit of water every day. In not 1 week, but in the second week, you'll see sprouts coming up. And then, like I was saying, this is kind of the challenging part, even for me, is wait until they're, a couple inches off the ground, and you basically have to either start separating them, which is challenging to say the least, or get scissors and basically chop right down to the soil level the ones that aren't performing, and then the ones that are performing, you let them grow ultimately until you have maybe 1 or 2 in a pot like this size, and then you could separate them easily. If you don't mind them growing in because every one of those seeds will propagate, right? It's super easy to grow here in the Algarve, at least. So again, I'm in the Algarve, so it's a little bit different for you. You don't want to cook them in the sun, so maybe disco light until they're like 4 feet tall, and then you can smash them with the full sun. They like acidic soil, but that's it. We just planted papaya on the Morning Banana Show. So, some compost on there. Pardon me. You don't need to do this. The soil is already rich enough. I'm just going overboard. Yeah, and then I'll put that in the Disco Light nursery. And that's how I will propagate and grow these papayas, just like that. And they'll grow. I mean, I haven't attempted to grow papaya and failed since we've been here and started learning about growing papaya. So, if you want the hack and the code, as you can see, I got it. The soil has to be well draining. Here we have clayish soil, so what I'll do is I'll put rocks on the bottom, like stones about that big, and then you can scale it down a bit to stones that are like that, and then mix your soil. If you have soil amendments or to make it acidic or whatever, then you mix your soils on top. You can put some sand in there if it's not ocean sand that has salt in it still. But the idea is, again, well-draining soil. Papaya has like a really long taproot that will shoot down, and eventually it outgrows the pot. So they grow pretty fast, and then you have to start after the 2-week mark, and you have to start either figuring out how to up pot them or pot them up, or, like I said, trim them down. Eventually, when they're about 5 or 6 feet tall, they might produce fruit for you. So until then, it's a waiting game. But I'm here for it. I might get fruit from Nelia this year or next year. We'll see. So, the best time to plant your papaya, if you want papaya fruit like this, is yesterday. Or 3 years ago. So as an investor, somebody who's an investor, who has invested, who has investments, investing into a farm and the fruit here is kind of a no-brainer for me. Some things are more of a rapid turnaround, like peas, beans, peppers, onions, potatoes. We've had all those things already immediately, and I've ate them already. Salad, all different types of salad, kale, lettuce. All those things are more of an immediate turnaround, but this papaya that I've been trying to grow behind the camera, Nelia, and the bananas are more like a long-term investment. You got to buy and hold. And so far, they're still alive. You can see. I haven't killed them. The Morning Banana Show, 6 years in, from 2019 to now, has culminated 6 years later in having these banana palms. And I mean, how cool is it? How cool is that day going to be when we have a banana together from here? I'm thinking it's going to be Banana Bill, but it's kind of a toss-up on who's going to be first. With all that being said, I hope that you learned something today from the show. You might have learned something about bananas. You might have learned something about how to propagate or germinate papayas and be a plant father or a plant mommy. But it'll be 2 weeks for the papayas like that. So don't expect them overnight. But in 2 weeks they start pushing up. So visibly in 2 weeks. I'm saying don't give up until it's been 2 weeks. If it's in the third week and you've got nothing coming up, then yeah, maybe you didn't do something right. But they usually start popping up after 2 weeks. If you felt like you learned something here today and you want to donate, I make it pretty easy. You can buy me a coffee. The link is in the description below. You can send me Bitcoin. You can send me DOGE. I'll take that. I still have DOGE from before there was a DOGE department in America. Before Elon Musk took Saturday Night Live by storm and crashed DOGE. I've been owning DOGE since before that. As I said, I'm an investor, not just in plants, but also in crypto, in stocks. I've written a book about investing. You can pre-order it from my website, adamjosh.com, under the store section. There you'll find the pre-order links to the book. You'll also find a t-shirt that I made up called it says Do Not Reincarnate. A lot of people have been making t-shirts lately. And you can order the t-shirt. You can have it shipped to you immediately. The book, I'm still trying to find a printer here, a print shop here. And I have some leads, and it will be printed. The book will be printed. I could dictate the book to you over the phone. I have it. It's not a joke. I know people might bug me and say, Adam, when are you gonna come? When is the book gonna get printed? It'll get printed when it'll get printed. I'm not in a particular rush, but it's an investment book. So if you want to pre-order it, you can pre-order it. You can send e-transfers if you're in Canada to adam@adamjosh.com. I think anywhere that takes Interac, would work. I appreciate all your support. I don't do super chats. I'm not partnered with YouTube. I'm not going to make any money from these YouTube videos. I have, as you might be able to tell from some videos, I have search engine optimization guys in my reply guys. I have them emailing me for like 20 years. I'm 43 years old. I'm not interested in trying to monetize YouTube at this point in my life. If you want to monetize my videos, or if you have some great idea on how you can make me money, I'll listen to it. So you can pitch me in my website, email adam@adamjosh.com. And I appreciate everybody. I hope that you have a good day. The last few days have been really crazy for the Schumann frequencies. If you haven't been feeling it, then you're not in touch. So I would recommend to meditate with us at 11:11 if you feel like it. We meditate every day locally at 11:11, and that's just a meditation to basically calm yourself and then send loving energy to the rest of the world, to the greater community in the social commons ground that we're all in. I work out every 2 days, as you know. Today is a workout today. Today is a workout day for me, if you didn't know. And I have my workout. It's all public information on X. If you follow me on X at adamjosh.com. I would say, as far as social media goes, I'm most active on X. I don't use Instagram. Desiree does, and I'm on YouTube here. Those are my two that I use, and then my website outside of that. So thanks again for watching. I hope that you guys have a great day. Thank you for joining me here in the hillside of the Algarve at Love Farmstay. You can look us up and book a trip here if you want to stay. If you are interested in the off-grid living, I've been living off-grid for over a year. This whole farm is off-grid. Solar, septic tank, water, gray water harvesting, water regeneration. We source our own water. We're very clever about how we get water around here. And if you want to learn more about that, living off-grid is super easy in Portugal. Super easy. Super easy. Take care. Bye, everybody.
Are you tired of reincarnating? Me too. Now show the world that you don't want to reincarnate with this Do Not Reincarnate t-shirt.
I'm off the grid.